discuss the practical of the liver. In the last class we have discussed about the theory of the liver, and now in this session I will demonstrate the liver, how to hold it in anatomical position, and then what are the surfaces, what are the borders, what are the relations you see on the liver. That way I will practically demonstrate in today's video. Is it clear? So let's move. So this is the liver specimen. Now this liver is the largest gland in the body, which is exocrine and endocrine part. And you know that liver, it is involved in various metabolic activities. Okay. And in detail I have told you what are the functions of liver also. Now coming to its shape and situation, the liver is it is a wedge-shaped organ. Okay, where it has got a base, it has got an apex, and it is directed. If you see, it is the base of the liver, it is directed towards the right side, and this apex of the liver is directed towards the left side. And coming to its situation, it occupies whole of the right hypochondrium, it occupies the epigastrium, and also it occupies a part of the left hypochondrium. So right hypochondrium, epigastric region, and left hypochondric region it extends. Clear? The weight of this liver is about 1.5 kg to 1.8 kg in males, and about in females, if you see, it is about 1.2 kg to 1.4 kg in weight. Clear? Now this is, as I said, this is the very largest organ in the body, and this organ is kept in position by some factors. Like, you know, the hepatic veins will be the major factor which will keep this organ in position. Apart from this hepatic veins, the intra-abdominal pressure and the ligaments of liver also will take part in making this liver in position. Clear? Now coming to the anatomical position of this liver. So anatomically, if you want to see, posteriorly you can see a groove, this one. So posteriorly, you are the posterior surface of the liver, it presents a vertical groove which is called as the groove for inferior vena cava, this one, which I am inserting my index finger. This is the posterior surface of the liver. So on the posterior surface of the liver, you are seeing a vertical groove, which is a groove for the inferior vena cava, which has to be placed posteriorly. Okay. And next thing, you know, this is the broad base. This is the broad base of the liver, which has to be placed on right side. It has to be placed on the right side. Clear? Next, the superior surface. This is the superior surface, which is convexo, concavo, convex. So here in the midline you have concavity, and on the right side you have the convexity, on the left side also you have the convexity. So superior surface, which is convexo, concavo, convexity. This has to be placed superiorly, so that you have to place the liver in this position. The right side, you have to place this broad surface, which is right lateral surface. This is the anterior surface. The posterior surface is seen by a vertical groove, which is called as the groove for inferior vena cava. This is inferior vena cava which you are placing. So on the right side you place like this. Clear? This is how you need to hold the liver in position. So this is the anatomical position. Coming to the parts, the presenting parts of the liver, if you see, the liver has got different surfaces. The surfaces, like, you know, this is, you know, it has got two surfaces. One is the parietal surface and number two is the visceral surface. The visceral surface is also called as the inferior surface. This inferior surface is called as the visceral surface, and this entire thing is the parietal surface. This parietal surface of the liver is divided into anterior surface, superior surface, right lateral surface, and the posterior surface. So anterior surface, right lateral surface, superior surface, posterior surface, all these are the parietal surfaces of the liver, and this is the inferior surface of the liver. This is called as the inferior surface of the liver. This part is inferior surface, which is also called as visceral surface, and all these surfaces which I told you, anterior, right lateral, superior and the posterior, these are the parietal surfaces of the liver. So altogether we have 5 surfaces of the liver. Anterior, I repeat, anterior surface, right lateral surface, superior surface, posterior surface, and this is inferior surface. This is the inferior surface. So this is the superior surface. The superior surface, it is convex on right side, it is convex on left side, and it is concave in the middle. And this concave depression is for the, the cardiac impression. It is for the cardiac impression. And there is a little area on the superior surface which is not covered by the peritoneum, which is called as the bare area of the liver. It is the bare area of the liver. Clear? Yeah. And the relations of the superior surface, if you see, it is related to the diaphragm, okay, the copula of the diaphragm, and not only that, the superior surface is related to the bases of the lung and the pleural sacs. The corresponding bases of lungs and the pleural sacs are related to the superior surface of the liver. Not only that, the central tendon of the diaphragm is also related to the liver, and the pericardium, the pericardial sacs. All these are the relations you see on the superior surface of the liver. Now coming to the right lateral surface. Now this is the right lateral surface. Now this right lateral surface, it is convex and it is covered by the peritoneum, and this right lateral surface is related to 7 to 11 ribs, and this surface is related to the right lung, right pleural sac, okay, and not only that, it is also related to the costodiaphragmatic recess in the middle thirds, and in the lower thirds it is not related to any lung or pleura, but here it is directly related to the 10th and 11th ribs. And this surface is clinically important because sometimes to take the tissue of the liver for the biopsy, the biopsy needle is inserted through 11th and 9th intercostal space at the mid-axillary line to take the tissue for the biopsy of the livers, okay. And this is about the right surface. Now coming to the anterior surface. Now this anterior surface is triangular in outline. If you see in this specimen, you can see very clearly this anterior surface is triangular in outline, and this anterior surface anatomically it is divided into 2 lobes, right lobe and the left lobe. This is the right lobe and this is the left lobe by a falciform ligament. This is the falciform ligament. Here you can see, this is the falciform ligament. This is the left lobe of liver, this is the right lobe of liver. These 2 lobes are demarcated or divided by this ligament, which is a fold of peritoneum, which is called as the falciform ligament. Clear? And this anterior surface, if you see, the right part of this anterior surface, it is related to 6th to 10th ribs, okay, and also related to the right lung and the pleura, okay, and also related to the diaphragm. Whereas the left part of the anterior surface, this left part of anterior surface, if you see, this is related to the diaphragm and also related to the 7th to 8th left intercostal cartilages. Clear? And the intermediate part of anterior surface, it is related with the xiphoid process. It is related with the xiphoid process of the sternum, and also you can see the falciform ligament is also seen in the intermediate part of the anterior surface, and this falciform ligament will provide attachment to the anterior abdominal wall. This is all about the anterior surface. Now coming to the posterior surface. This is the posterior surface. The posterior surface, if you see the posterior surface, it is deeply in concave, and it is this deeply concavity in the middle, it is for the lodgement of the vertebral column, and on the right side of the vertebral groove, the right surface is broadly convex. It is broadly convex. This is broadly convex. And this posterior surface, it has got midline, it has got one vertical groove, which is a groove for the inferior vena cava. Now on the posterior surface, we have some features. On the posterior surface, we have some features like, one is, the bare area. So there are some bare areas on the posterior surface. One is this is the triangular. This is the largest non-peritoneal area on the posterior surface of the right lobe. This is the bare area of the liver. This one is the bare area. Then not only that, we have one more which is called as a groove for inferior vena cava. This is the groove for inferior vena cava. Now I am inserting my index finger into the inferior vena cava. This is also a bare area which you see on the posterior surface. Then we have one more which is the caudate lobe. This one. This lobe. This lobe of the liver is called as the caudate lobe. C-A-U-D-A-T-E. Caudate lobe. This is the caudate lobe. Not only that, you have one fissure. This fissure. This fissure. This fissure is called as the fissure for ligamentum venosum. This fissure is called as a fissure for ligamentum venosum. Fissure for ligamentum venosum. These are all the features you see on the posterior surface of the liver. See, this is the anterior surface. This is the right lateral surface. This is the posterior surface. This is the posterior surface. This is inferior surface. This is inferior surface. So when you hold it in position like this, when you hold it in position, anterior, superior, posterior, inferior, and this is the right lateral surfaces. So these are all the structures which we see on the posterior surface of the liver. Now coming to the inferior surface. Now this inferior surface is facing downwards and backwards. It faces downwards and backwards. This is the inferior surface. On the inferior surface of the liver, if you see, there are some features, there are some impressions. So from the left to right side, if you see, on the inferior surface we have some impressions like this impression. This is the left lobe of liver. This impression is called as a gastric impression, which is shallow and concave. Okay, and then we have this elevation, this rounded elevation, which is called as the tuber omentale. This is the tuber omentale. Then we have one more. This is the fissure. This fissure, which is called as a fissure for ligamentum teres, and which is the remnant of obliterated left umbilical vein, which I told you in the theory also. Okay, this is a fissure for ligamentum teres. And this lobe is called as quadrate lobe. Q-U-A-D-R-A-T-E, quadrate lobe. This is caudate. This caudate lobe you see on the posterior surface, and this quadrate lobe you see on the inferior surface. Then we have this area. This area is called as a porta hepatis. This I'll talk to you in detail again. This is the porta hepatis. This area is called as a porta hepatis. Clear? Now in this porta hepatis, this is nothing but this is a transverse fissure which acts like a gateway of the liver, okay, to it, which will allow the structures to enter into liver, or which will allow the structures to leave out of the liver. Now the structures which enters the liver through porta hepatis are right and left branches of hepatic artery, right and left divisions of portal vein, hepatic plexus of the nerves are also will enter into the liver. The structures which leaves the liver through porta hepatis are left and right hepatic ducts, cystic duct, and lymphatics of the liver. Okay, all these things. This is the area. Okay, this is the area which is called as porta hepatis. And not only that, this process is called as a caudate process of the caudate lobe, and this process is called as a papillary process of the caudate lobe. Okay, I am talking about the features on the inferior surface. And not only that, you have one which is called as a fossa for gallbladder. This one, this is the gallbladder, and this is a fossa for gallbladder. Fossa for gallbladder. Clear? And then we have, this is the just right to this fossa for gallbladder, you have this impression which is for the duodenum, second part of duodenum, which is the duodenal impression. And here we have the transverse impression. This is called as a colic impression, and this is for the right kidney, so this is the renal impression. And here we have the right suprarenal impression. All these are the impressions which we see on the inferior surface of the liver, so that this surface is related to some visceral organs, so that this surface is also called as visceral surface of the liver. So gastric impression, tuber omentale. Okay, then we have, this is fissure for ligamentum teres, this is quadrate lobe, this is porta hepatis, this is the papillary, this is the caudate process, this is the papillary process of caudate lobe, this is the fossa for gallbladder, this is the colic impression, here we have the duodenal impression, okay, here we have the renal impression, and here we have the suprarenal impression. All these are the impressions which we see on the inferior surface, and this is the sharp inferior border that I will teach you in the borders. Clear? Now coming to the borders of the liver, if you see the borders, as I said, it has got three borders. One which is the sharp inferior border. This is the sharp inferior border which is well demarcated, okay, and we have one more border which is a posterior superior border. This is the posterior superior border which separates the anterior surface from the superior surface. This is posterior superior border, and this is the posterior inferior border. Posterior inferior border which separates the posterior surface from the inferior surface. So posterior inferior border, posterior superior border, and we have one more thing which is the inferior border. These are the three borders which we see in the liver. Then coming to the lobes. So as I said, it has got anatomically we have the right lobe, and this is the left lobe. This right lobe and this is the left lobe, which are separated by the ligamentum. This is the falciform ligament. So this is left lobe of liver, this is the right lobe of liver, and these are demarcated by, you know, the falciform ligament. Okay. Then we have another lobes also, like this is the caudate lobe, and this is the quadrate lobe. Caudate lobe and the quadrate lobe. Clear, everybody? So this is all about the lobes: right lobe, left lobe, caudate lobe, quadrate lobe. So coming to the fissure, you have a fissure on the posterior and inferior surface which is H-shaped fissure. So this is like H-shaped fissure. Now on the right side, the upper limb of the H, which is for the fissure for venosum, fissure for groove for inferior vena cava, and this is called as a fissure for venosum, ligamentum venosum. And the lower part, this is a fossa for gallbladder, and this is the fissure for ligamentum teres. And in the transverse we have the porta hepatis. So this is the fissures which are H-shaped fissures, which are non-peritoneal fissures, which you see on the posterior surface and inferior surface of the liver. Of the liver presents, you know, 5 peritoneal folds of the ligaments. Okay. Now one is this one which is called as a falciform ligament. Okay. And we have the coronary ligament, and this is the coronary ligament, which fused to form this triangular ligament, which is called as, this is the left triangular ligament. The same way we have one more triangular ligament here, which is the right triangular ligament. So these are the layers of coronary ligament: right triangular ligament, this is the left triangular ligament, and this is the falciform ligament. Apart from this, you also have the lesser omentum also. Now these are all the folds of peritoneal ligaments which we see on the liver. Apart from this, we have true ligaments. One is the ligamentum teres, fissure for ligament. This is the ligamentum teres, and this is the ligamentum venosum, which are the true ligaments of the liver. Clear? Yeah. So this is all about the gross features of the liver. So in this, I just emphasized on the surfaces, borders, and more clearly on the inferior surface with the impressions which we see on the inferior surface, which are the visceras which are related, which are the, I told you, from left to right side very clearly all the impressions. So this is all about the liver. And one more thing, this is a tongue-like projections you see on the inferior border. This is called as Riddle's lobe. In the lobes, this is a Riddle's lobe. Clear? Which is an accessory lobe, which is a tongue-like projection, which is not oftenly present. Sometimes occasionally you present. This is a Riddle's lobe. Clear, everybody? This is all about the liver, and I hope you understand. Thank you so much.